So today we've got Craig, Ryan, Emma from Jackpot Brewing. Jackpot Brewing. Yeah.
That's the one.
Is that the one?
That's the one.
Sure.
That's definitely.
But most importantly, we are here today to try out some of your beer and also get to know about the brewery itself, everything behind it. And Emma, what's your job? What do you do? What do you do here?
So I do everything Ryan does.
But she gets paid more.
I do a lot of the planning, a lot of the delegating involved, and all of the groundwork.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like from where, what process do you start?
All of it.
All of it. So we
Simple packaging. We don't really.
Yeah, we don't do packaging, but we separate brewing side and production side. So we split the shift. So if I'm brewing, I run brewing and all
Hot
the
side,
planning.
hot side brewing.
Yeah, so hot side and cold side, and then Ryan will run whatever I'm not.
Okay, so explain it. Hot side and cold side. Explain the difference. So cold side is presumably fermentation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fermentation,
and filtration, or clarification rather.
all the clarification
Yeah.
that happens.
How many brewers are there?
There's 8 of us.
8 of them, and you work 4 day shifts.
Yes, 4-day shifts and 4 days off.
Okay, and now we've got this lovely beer that you've made, which is what? What have we got to drink here?
Speak up.
I'm spoken up. What have we got to drink here, guys?
Thank you, Craig. What do we got to drink here?
So this is the lumberjack. This one over there, right? It's an amber ale.
Okay.
I don't know if it's more English or more American. I can't make up my mind. What do you think? Because I would say it's honestly probably more English because it's not as New Worldy.
Yeah.
But it's, I suppose, a blend of both really because it has some aspects of an American.
So what are we supposed to be tasting? What are we getting?
It's a good question.
So I'm getting a lot of toffee.
Yeah.
A lot of caramel.
Get the toffee off the top.
Speak up, Craig.
I'm getting a lot of caramel, a lot of toffee, but the bitterness is very subtle.
What?
The bitterness,
It's got like 49 IBUs.
it hits you there, but
Yeah.
it actually subsides.
Yes.
It doesn't linger.
So-
The sweetness plays with the bitterness, so you get that bitterness wave, and then the sweetness kind of flushes.
The balance is
some-
very good, yeah.
it balances
And
it
I mean,
out.
as you can see by the head, it's got a really nice mouthfeel. It's like quite round, quite full.
Full mouth flavor, yeah.
It's almost chewable, but
Yeah.
not too thick. It's nice and drinkable, but you don't have to sip on it. You can actually drink it. You know,
How fresh is it? How,
very fresh. This was bottled. What? 2
They
weeks
released it
ago.
on Monday. They packaged it on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Released it on Monday.
we get
So what's the consumption? As in, how much liters of this beer are you brewing at the moment?
Of lumberjack.
Yeah.
Only one.
One batch,
One
which
batch.
is 3,000 liters.
Yeah.
3,000 liters.
Yeah. So
Small time.
it's small for our size.
Yeah.
It's really small.
And then what's your biggest batch that you guys are brewing currently?
Lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
we,
that?
24,000.
24,000 liters.
and we have
Yeah.
multiple fermenters of 24,000 liters
Yeah.
of lager. And 18,000
So
liters.
we have 5, 9, 13, 17. We have 19 fermenters. No, 20 fermenters.
20 for me.
Yeah, all of varying
Yeah.
sizes, but most of them are either 18,000 or 24,000 liters. And that's where the lager and the CPA and sometimes the vice
The
goes.
math is completely eluding me at this point.
No, it's a lot.
Okay, and you were saying earlier that it takes, you're continuously brewing to fill up
Yes.
8 brews, did you say?
8 brews to fill a 240 hectoliter fermenter. So 24,000 liters takes 8 brews. And then we brew the 180s, the 180 hectoliter fermenters take 6 brews. So we usually do like a CPA or a vice into those. And then the 90 hectoliter fermenters, the 9,000 liters, it's usually like our skeleton coast, the smaller, more,
Yeah, the butcher block.
butcher block, the more delicate beers that we intend.
But things like the lumberjack, because it's a seasonal beer, it's not something that's always available. And to make sure that we're able to sell all of it and make sure that there's a bit of a demand, we make less of it. We don't make 9,000 liters. We only make 3,000. Sometimes we'll go up to 6,000 because we do have a 6,000 liter fermenter.
So the Wolves of Winter, we
Yeah.
get 6,000 liters of it.
Fantastic beer, by the way.
That's too good.
Fantastic beer.
We've actually just recently updated the recipe, just to make it a little bit more full, a little bit more flavorful, more akin to an oatmeal stout rather than like a lighter oatmeal stout.
So are you guys constantly tweaking recipes, making sure that you're getting that profile that the final consumer would want?
Yeah.
Generally, yeah. It depends on the beer. So the lager is quite set. The lager is we're pretty happy with the lager. Every now and then we will make a slight change.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
That's very interesting. But you're saying the lager is your corporate.
Yeah. And CPA.
And the Vice, because you won an award for the Vice recently.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. We did.
It's fantastic beer. There's a really good beer.
Is it silver or is it bronze? Bronze. Okay, bronze.
Bronze, silver, gold, it's a really good price.
Yeah.
If we get back to this beer for a second, so this is a relatively fresh batch. You're saying it's an amber beer. The bitterness, the toffee, the sweetness. What sort of ingredients? What sort of malts and stuff are you using? So using American hops or using South African hops? There's a lot of obviously there's a lot of South African hops around and stuff.
It is. We bitted with an American hop Challenger. No, not Challenger. Columbus.
Oh, Columbus. Okay.
I can't remember what the rest of the hop schedule is. There might be a bit of There might be a bit of Cascade, but I don't think so.
The malt bill was very we wanted that red color.
Yeah, super red.
Cara red, melanoided,
Caramelic
free, and our base malt is a Pilsen malt.
Yes, okay, so fairly American. When I was fermenting, we were really concerned about the bitterness because it was quite staunch, quite heavy, quite cutting. But it's mellowed out quite a lot, and it's really enjoyable. And that, I suppose just shows how beer changes over time. But yeah, so the hops that we used was Columbus, German Cascade, Citra, and Simcoe.
Okay.
So fairly American,
But very subtle, very delicate on the actual nose. Very delicate on the actual palate. It doesn't linger, which is nice. It's got that bitterness, that kick, it's got that sweetness, and then it subsides. This is, I think this might be my winter choice.
Yeah.
Well, clearly I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
But now, to you, Ryan, what would you say is the highlights of working in your line of work?
What, in brewing?
Yeah. What do you enjoy about it?
Okay, so any brewer will tell you that the biggest component of brewing is cleaning.
Yeah.
We don't actually do that much other than clean. So we're actually overpaid janitors.
Oh.
No, but we do a fair amount on the beer side. So I think the most interesting or the most exciting aspects of beer or brewing beer for me is the recipe development, this fine tweaking, making a fantastic beer.
Yeah.
That's like super drinkable. Well, whatever the style is that you want it to be, making that what your intended beer is like the holy grail. That's what you want, and we strive. Like blood, sweat, and tears, we go through a lot of work and pain.
Even would like to comment on that.
To get a final product that we are proud of.
Oh, fantastic! I think you guys are doing a fantastic job, and you don't realize how many people, processes go into play into making a beer that you get at the bar and you have a beer and you think to yourself, it's okay. And Emma, what's your highlights or what's the most exciting part about doing what you do?
It's come to be the planning actually of making sure bossing around is fun. But
it's my end of the day.
But no, it's just the planning and making sure all the processes and equipment and the timing. Some processes run for about 12 hours.
Yeah.
And getting everything to time properly, having the beer ready for packaging, having it packaged, setting records, hitting the volumes, that's...
There's a sense of fulfillment from running production well and making sure that everything works as a machine and everything's like consistent and like collaborative. So
I think for us also today was a day of where you learn what you see and what you drink of Jack Black and seeing the behind the scenes of it. I think most of us were blown away by the fact that the process seems small until you see it in its magnitude, shall I say. And I mean, seeing the tanks at the back there was I mean, the two of you, I mean, I don't have the words even to say the fact that you guys have an exceptional amount of stress on your shoulders probably, and expectation. Because at the end of the day, me as a beer drinker, I don't want to be a poor product. And you guys are doing a stellar job. I really have to commend you on that.
Thanks. And you know, the thing is, you know, in craft beer, there is some variability, but as Jack Black the brand, there has to be consistency.
Exactly.
And consistency is possibly the ultimate goal of beer, to make sure that your customers are getting a consistent, reliable product.
Exactly.
And that's about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the fact that you guys are tweaking recipes, developing new type of techniques, processes. I'm a process person myself, and to see how you guys work and get everything going, making sure, like with the case with the cherry ale, correct? You guys have tweaked the recipes on that as well.
Yeah. Well, we actually changed the entire method.
The entire method. I'm sure. You guys say so.
Yeah, the absolute scale of it. What's fascinating to me, what's striking to me is the scale of the size of the brewery and how it's grown. It's very, very positive thing to see. Out of interest, I mean, I think we're probably getting to a point where we need to ask, what was the biggest mistakes you guys have ever made?
I knew you'd come up with it.
Biggest in terms of what? In terms of volume or in terms of price?
What would cause the most damage?
We had one recently.
Yeah, we had one recently.
A week ago. Where we,
not even. It was on Tuesday.
Even, on Tuesday. We were brewing the Wolves of Winter and
a newly developed recipe.
So Ryan and I sat with the head brewer and
we worked extensively on
worked out the recipe and really thought everything through. We loved the recipe, went to brew it, and it got stuck.
It got stuck in the water. We couldn't separate the liquid from the grain.
And that was a lesson learned that you can't just make a recipe that is good on paper and you think will taste amazing. You have to think about the physics and the processing and the equipment.
So just for the viewers, it's an oatmeal start. So there's a fair amount of oats in the beer, right? And we added a little wheat, and so it was quite a thick boil. It was
almost like porridge.
and to get the liquid out of that sort of state of viscosity is really difficult. So that was quite an expensive mistake.
We won't go further on that.
We're happy to discuss it because it's a learning point, and we only become better for it.
I mean, we managed to then tweak the recipe. We got it. On Tuesday, we got it through. Saturday, we got it through in the fermenter.
And there was a sense of victory after that.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay. I can only imagine.
Ryan and I weren't even at work, but we drove in to come through the process to see how it goes. And
I think the brewers at Jack Black have a little bit of an addiction to this.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Even when they taste off, they are here.
This is craft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a lifestyle.
What do they call it?
Like Stockholm syndrome.
No, wait. I wasn't going to go that far.
It's a labor of love.
Labor of love.
Yes.
So, but look, not every brewer is like this.
Yeah.
There are brewers who are not doing it as a labor of love. They do it just for the pay. And
that's
fine.
But we certainly love this stuff.
And when we talk about, you just mentioned the word about pay now. I'm not going to mention about pay, but how did you get involved into getting into becoming a brewer? What was the process? What did you learn? What did you have to go and study to become a brewer? What did you have to do to get to where you are now?
So there's a couple of ways that you can get into beer. Right? I think Emma and I have different ways. A different way that we got into beer. I'll say mine and you can say yours. Okay. So I dropped out of uni. Well, I didn't actually drop out. I got
just you.
I kind of got forced out. I basically failed my way out. And
I won't mention anything.
So during the trip and a year or two after that, my mom was heavily into homebrewing.
Yeah.
And I was,
Your mom?
My mom.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would help her every now and then with the heavy lifting. I wasn't so involved with the beer. You know, I just drank whatever she made.
Sure.
Yeah, so I would help with the heavy lifting, and then I got sort of interested a little bit, and brewed 1 or 2 batches just after matric, and then I studied a year after matric. That didn't go so well, and I started home brewing a little bit more, just to fill my time, get something a little bit passionate about something, and then I got really invested into the bug. All the brewers know what the brewing bug is, and I got bit. And I still am suffering for it. But yeah, so then I started homebrewing quite extensively, and then I applied for a position. I emailed every brewery in Cape Town for an apprenticeship. Yeah. Right? Just because I wasn't working. Well, I was working. I was waitering, but I didn't have a proper job, and I was just like trying to find my way through life, and I wanted to learn more about beer and eventually get to a brewing position. So I applied to every brewery in the Cape for a position. I think only 3 breweries responded. Yeah. One saying no, one saying come interview, and another saying come interview. Right? But I applied to like 24 different breweries. And Jack Black, one of them. But that's not where I came first. Yeah. Right? I started at another brewery, Red Sky in Gordons Bay. They've since closed because of COVID. Yeah. But yeah, so I started brewing there, and I became their head brewer relatively soon after. Like within a year, I was the head brewer, only because substantiating circumstances. Okay. And so I became the head brewer there, and I worked there for about 3 years. And then COVID, and then I'm here. So I've been here for about 10 months. But my way into beer was from homebrewing. So
and the passion was
what fueled you. Yeah. And I spent 6-7 days a week at the old brewery. Yeah. At my first job's brewery. I'd be there like 12 hours, 14 hours a day.
So I studied at UCT, started tutoring online during COVID, decided to go into fermentation science, and I realized I had to study for another 4 years at Stellenbosch, which was not going to happen. So I started beer brewing, and then I applied for a job. The only place I applied to was Jack Black.
See the difference? You see the difference? Now I understand.
Me, I applied to everyone. Nothing behind my name.
24 breweries?
24 breweries. She applies to one, she gets the job.
And she's your boss?
Yeah.
UCT, and he does the cleaning.
Yeah. No, it's actually funny. She does the cleaning.
I do the cleaning, yeah. So I got the job here. Yeah. Started my training.
How long have you been here?
Been here for a year, and
it was January 2022.
Yeah.
Wow. So you both are basically little fledglings here at Jack Black.
Yeah.
It sounds wrong.
Yeah,
but you understand what I'm saying?
We're very fresh.
Your range that
I've only been here for 10 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I started working here, I was still in training, and they made me brew the wolves of winter.
No pressure.
On my own. And so the head brewer started brewing it, and I took over from him in the brewing process because my shift started. And they kind of threw me in the deep end. The recipe was still kind of written on a scrap piece of paper. And so that was my trial by fire. And I think it went fairly well. But so the training was really tough because I went from brewing on the stove with the malt extract. I didn't even do an all grain brewing to brewing here. So it was
thousands of liters of gas.
And I've never seen a centrifuge on the scale. Filter, had no idea how it worked. Pasteurizer, no idea. Just jumped in, did it.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Well done, Emma. Never mind applying for one place.
But I used to drink Jack Black lager when I was studying, and that was my beer of choice.
She went to UCT, she could afford it.
Of course, she was studying. It was like basic beer for them.
I loved it, and thought, let me apply, see what happens. It was more of just a shot in the dark to see where I'm at with capability to get a job, because I had no idea how the beer industry worked. So I just kind of applied, and I was hoping to get an interview to kind of get here, speak to people, and then I got the job.
From a beer scene, it's just getting to that point where it's about to mature.
Yes.
And as it matures, the market goes. And when it does that, then suddenly there's management jobs, there's middle management between the recipe development, the recipe brewing, to the quality control. Last brewer actually sits in blending batches, and that's a positive thing.
I think between now and 5 years, I'd love to get into some sort of an R&D position.
Yeah.
So
Developing new recipes.
Yeah.
Processes.
That's where a lot of my passion lies. And for a company like Jack Black, it would benefit the brand, and obviously, I'm being quite selfish about it because I want to experience it.
And also give you all as well in that
Exactly.
process.
And I do. I give a lot of my effort and love and passion into the beer.
And Ryan actually, he got me into recipe development because when I started here, I didn't know how to make a recipe at all. I just knew how to operate the things, brew the beer. I understood the science behind it, but I couldn't make a recipe.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I started homebrewing on the grain farm we had that hadn't been used in years.
Yeah, so
And
and then
No, I mean, I've probably brewed like over 100, 150 batches of beer on a grain farm.
So Ryan taught me all of that, and then I kind of found my legs with recipe on my own. But it's, so that's kind of our focus at the moment.
R&D.
Kind of R&D.
Yeah.
We actually have an R&D project trying to get
Off the ground.
off the ground at the moment at Jack Black to get kegs on tap.
Yeah.
Of
So
R&D.
we do like random beers. We've been working on a passion fruit beer. Will be and it's pretty damn good. And
Clearly, the two of you know what.
yeah, well, without throwing shade, there's very few other brewers who are keen for it.
Yeah.
We drive the passion behind it, I think.
So like with the wolves as an example.
Yeah. So we
threw ourselves at the recipe.
we threw ourselves at it. We said we want to be on this. We're doing it. Here's the recipe we think is great. Let's debate. And then it worked out.
and we got a stuck spot.
Yeah, we got a stuck spot.
It humbled us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Confidence because it's really, really solid range of beers. And I don't know, I think something actually that the consumer perhaps sometimes doesn't know is, do you guys brew multiple beers, or do you have one that's yours that you are responsible for?
No, so we brew everything. So when we come in for shift, you just keep on brewing for the plan.
Yeah.
So
So
whatever.
the point is, your job today is to brew Cape Ale, and next time you brew the special.
So we move on. We'll do Cape Ale, and then move on to lager next.
Whatever's on the plan.
So
Yeah.
it's very much a team effort. I mean, it's a team of brewers that are producing consistently, and that's what makes the important thing, is the consistency.
How you guys been reducing waste?
What do you mean by waste though?
As in, what happened to that?
The grind.
So
Yeah,
the spent grain, there's a pig farm that comes to pick up all our spent grain, feeds it to the pigs. We did at a stage have a program with our shoot-out bees on tanks that we sent to a worm farmer, but the volume of
Interesting
yeast,
work.
the volume of yeast we shoot out is far too much for them to.
For the work.
No, we get rid of a lot of yeast.
Yeah.
At least on a 240, there's probably
24.
at least
At least.
at least 800 liters of yeast
800 liters of yeast.
Easy.
That must be some big worms then.
per fermented.
And we do.
That's over a time, but it's probably amounts to about 800.
Yeah, like on a day we could have 11 tanks in cooling that we need to do shoot-outs on, and we do that every 4 days at least.
And that's like per shoot up is probably like 100 liters, maybe 200 liters.
It makes the scale
It's
the scale again.
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Is it?
Then he's like,
Trying to solve the problem. Sorry.
the question to
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's as you said. I mean, it's the byproduct of brewing. And CO2, the excess of CO2.
Yeah. That's something that should be looked at, but for our size, it just doesn't make sense. You have to be a much larger brewery to capture CO2 and to reuse it. But when you get to a larger scale, then sure. But we're just not at that point yet.
Not at that point yet. I think
No.
that's fine.
It's
At some
fantastic.
point, we will probably get there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I see this space for more fermenters back there. So, for more
Yeah.
fermenters,
And but all I can say is, Emma, Ryan, Craig, thank you very much. It's really been amazing to get to know a bit more about behind the scenes of brewing and getting to know the two of you. I mean, we know this is my first time coming to Jack Black as well, and it's been an amazing experience. Not only the fact that the food is,
it's great.
I don't have words for the food. The beer, I don't have words for those either. But the fact that I can bring my family, I can bring my friends, and we can have a great time and see a working brewery in action. I don't think people realize the scale of what Jack Black is brewing. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate the time that you guys have made to spend and talk to us about the brewing process and what happens behind the scenes at Jack Black. So I really appreciate it. Thank you much.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Do you have any closing
No, look,
remarks?
I think thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for telling us, because we've got a lot of footage of tours and stuff like that. It was fantastic. It's a really good experience. It's really nice to see what happens behind the scenes and on stage, obviously, and the videos. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a pleasure.